If you stared with venomous glares, clenched your teeth through jaws set in stone, and twisted your mouth to hurl spit, to sprout hatred, used your fist to pound into flesh, and set snarling dogs upon children, and hid under white sheets for newly found courage. If you released your unholy energies upon those who had no refuge, released your unholy marriage of arrogance and unruly law upon the innocent and the virtuous, then yes, you have wreaked fear without remorse, as if there was no divinity within the universe. Remember, we are the children born from ebony and indigo, the reflections of our ancestors' cries. They exist in the midnight of our skins. They are in the skyline of our eyes, dark planets against the moon's eclipse. They are in the rhythm that is flowing within our veins. We are the collectors of their tears, the dust of their bodies released into atmospheres and scattered in time. Now, no longer are they formless. From their pain, we reborn the art of verse. We are the collectors of their tears. Yes, all nations and peoples of suffrage born to reside in solidarity. Nay, we will never taste defeat. You cannot conquer peace. We are the collectors of their tears, and even in your deformity, your foul deeds, we survived. We created beauty, a strength unyielding, our greatest inheritance from an ancient people facing life at its worst and horrid death. Still did not weep for themselves, but for you. Yes, they wept for you as you must face your impending and eternal judgment, for there is a divinity in the universe. In peace. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Oh man! All right,
Nice.
Thank you so much.
that was very nice.
And we're going to go ahead to the lovely Nicole Brookins
Okay,
and
all
see
right.
what she has. So tell us a little bit about yourself and then go ahead into your piece.
Okay, well, of course, I am Nicole R. Brookins, and been writing poetry for a good while. Um, and a lot of times it's just about how I'm feeling. Sometimes it might be something that I observed, and I got an idea to write a poem about. But I do have my book coming out very soon, and it's just taking a little bit of time to get everything together and make sure it's just as I want it. But it's called Pieces of Me. So I think that, everybody could get a little bit of something from it. And just be on the lookout for that. So, and today I went in my archive, and of course you got me going after you, Brian. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. But I call this perseverance. Perseverance. We did not ask to be here. We were just fine where we were. Out of the cradle of civilization, reared up as kings and queens with riches and a native tongue of our own, to being captured, uprooted, shackled, and taken to a place unknown, to a land we cultivated and built up with our bare hands, and everything we did was under someone else's command. Held it on our strong shoulders as our backs were welted up by whips and straps, still standing upright even when done so wrong, working through the hardest times while still humming or singing a song. Being held down and put in the back, our people have accomplished so much, all the while being under attack. The more we would rise, the more they would steal. There were times we could not create an invention, song, or even a recipe without the man taking credit. It was so unreal. Black people had their own Wall Street, which had businesses serving their own town. But I guess they didn't want to see us prosper because they burnt the city to the ground. Now, don't get me wrong, we have not had all bad times. There are many moments that we can look at as truly sublime. So many of us making first in histories and carrying the torch. We received Oscars, Tonys, degrees, places in aerospace, all the way to the Supreme Court. Not only must we celebrate every travesty we have overcome, we must remember that we are descendants of royalty and we're born to lead. We are inbred with greatness, with a strong will to succeed. In peace.
Okay.
All right, Nicole.
I like.
Thank you.
Lovely, lovely, and inspiring. Absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely. We're going to wait for that book to come out, too.
Thank you.
See, I told you, it's family here, you know. So now we're going to go ahead to Miss Deland. And please, Deland, tell us about yourself and then go ahead and proceed with your piece.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, everyone. As Brian just said, I'm Delyn, D Poetically, if you look for me on social media out there. Been writing poetry for a long time, but recently, meaning last year, became an actual published author, published my first book, Lift Up, Inspirational Poems and Devotions. Yes, and my second one is coming out later this year. So I'm in the process of book number 2, which is really big for me. So I'm pushing through. Nicole, I understand. We're going to catch up to King one day, and Brian.
I know.
We gonna get there, but no, I love it. I love it. So the piece I have for you today, recently written, and what I mean by that is it was written because our topic this evening was about Black history. I thought about going into the archives and then I couldn't find my archives. So we're great. We came up with new material, which I love. But the piece is actually called Black History. I know I may refine that, but we'll see. But what I will say about this piece, that I hope you hear it as I speak, I really wanted to highlight, and I think this is missed sometimes when we're talking about Black history, we're talking about those that are in a way well known. We could talk about Martin Luther King Jr. all the time. We talk about Rosa Parks. You know, we talk about these significant figures, and even in modern day times, you know, we're talking about George Floyd and, you know, different ones whose names are kind of well known. But I think we miss sometimes, what about all those names that are never known? What about all those names that are only mentioned within your family's home? You know? And so I'm actually coming from that perspective. So prayerfully, you will hear it as I go. I am reading it because, like I said, this is new. All right, it's called Black History. Black history, your history, Black history, my history, the reflection of my family, my ancestors, those in Virginia to those across the sea. How far back I traced to find the truth. School didn't help. They didn't understand because they didn't relate. Showing me pictures of Black-skinned men and women who they approved, those they seemed to be the most impactful, but in truth, it was depictions of ones who they considered as enough. Don't misunderstand me. Martin was great. Rosa Parks was a phenomenal woman. Malcolm X, radically impactful. Even before them, Harriet made pass. Sojourner Truth spoke up no matter what. But what about the thousands who fought daily for their families through slavery, who stood by leaders in every march, who cheered when Martin spoke and listened as Harriet prayed? The ones that are Black history, your history, Black history, my history. As we live in the 21st century, new names are plastered across the internet. We tweet them, record them, and IG post them. Murals depict their faces, memories of tomorrow's history, names that will be written in textbooks of our children's children. But what about the thousands who marched in the streets? not rioting, but chanting a rallying cry, who posted blackout pics online and hashtagged Black Lives Matter, who wear their African dress Sundays at church, praising God for the generations he kept, never forgetting that Black is beautiful. I'm speaking about the ones that are Black history, your history, Black history, my history. We may not start a movement, but we can be a part of it. We may not lose a loved one from injustice, but we can cry about it. We may not have our names written in history, but we can tell our children who will carry our names and legacies. We may not have our faces and names painted on city walls or across t-shirts, but have no shame, wear their shirts with pride. We are still a part of history, whether minute or known across the world. Don't stop telling your story. Don't stop standing up or sitting down. Don't stop praying. Keep trusting God. Tell your family what you experienced, how you felt. Create your own record, for we are all writers. From the day we were born, Black history started. This is Black history, your history, Black history, my history. Black history, our history. In peace.
Oh,
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
definitely. That was beautiful.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely stunning. so
Most
so happy that all of you are here tonight. That was very, very beautiful, though. Very, very beautiful. So now we go with the true host of the show,
Too modest, man.
the
What's
man
up,
of the
Ron?
hour. And before I even go any further, just recently found out that me and his brother are connected spiritually, and then recently we just found out that we're actually DNA cousins. So that's how spirit works, and we both, and now that I look, we even look alike a little bit. So, but I digress. The man of the hour with about 16 books, Mr. King, Joe Atterberry. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and then go into your first piece?
Definitely. Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Washington Atterberry, born and raised in Harlem, New York. Moved down, transitioned over to South Jersey, Cape May, in 1992. Came out with my first published book in 2017. Blew My Eyes from the Sky. And the latest book is King Atterberry Inc., which is my 16th published book. King Atterberry Inc. is nothing. That's the title of the book. So, I enjoy doing this poetry thing, being around a lot of great poets, motivate, inspire me to just keep moving along. And we came out with this show to have a lot of people come on the show during this pandemic. And me and Q, we getting it rocking. We at season 7 right now, so since 2020. So we got things moving along. You know what I mean? God bless. So right now, tonight I have for you, it's called February for Us. Like County Cullen, my work speaks for itself through its own rights. My Nat Turner intuition allows my spirit to stand tall and fight. This edition is nothing new, just something freshly brewed. May not have walked in our hero's shoes, but I damn near came close to. Getting myself in trouble for being opinionated like Muhammad Ali. I refuse to live and breathe off the lies that are spoken to me. Capture the essence and presence of my imagery like Aaron Douglas. Play with sounds like Louis Armstrong, Garvey's movement still amongst us. Extend my hand like Claude McKay with my James Weldon Johnson display. My piece is covered by the spirit of Malcolm X and Langston Hughes ways. Same way Harriet moved through Cape May, New Jersey around 1852. In 1700, Richard Allen made things happen in Philly without a clue. As a youth, I was inspired by Walter Dean Myers with a Claude Brown attitude. My personal views lift the troops and alley-oop them with great attitude. King.